Hey guys, so welcome back or welcome to Becoming the Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Micaiah, also known as MB. And we got my girl in the other host, Janelle.
Hey
Uh,
y'all, how y'all doing?
so if you guys don't know, Becoming is a weekly podcast. Episodes drop every Thursday where we talk about anything and everything as we seek information and continue to educate ourselves, our viewers, and the community as we are on the journey to find the best version of ourselves. So we are not experts, but we are here to do the work. So I do want to shout out everyone who is out there listening to the podcast, as you can find us everywhere podcasts are streamed. If you want to watch us, we are also on YouTube. Just going over to the I'm Just MB page. But wherever you are listening or watching, make sure that you continue to support us. We thank you in advance. If you support us, you are following, subscribing, and liking the podcast. So don't miss out on future episodes. Again, we drop every Thursday. And I'm going to take it over to Janelle so she could talk about this week's episode topic.
Hey you all, so we're going to be talking about a huge issue that affects millions of women around the world. It's hormones. So as you know, hormones affect women's health. The female hormones are progesterone and estrogen, which have the most influence on a woman's reproductive system from menstrual cycles to pregnancy. And unfortunately, millions of women suffer from hormonal imbalances, which causes several complications and illnesses such as endometriosis and PCOS. I am one of those women who suffer from PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So some of these issues are irregular periods, acne, hair loss, excessive hair growth in unwanted areas. You have weight gain and even brain fog. So most of these illnesses require treatment or an intervention such as medication, IVF, or even weight loss surgery. So I want you guys to just stay tuned. We're going to have Lauren here on the show, and I'm really excited to have Lauren here with us.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Can't wait to hear what she has to talk about.
Hey, everyone. So today our topic is understanding hormonal health. So we do have a special guest on today's episode. Let's welcome Miss Lauren Solis. So Lauren, welcome. We are excited to talk to you about your vision for seeking a natural, healthy, hormone balanced you. Before we get started, can you provide our listeners a little more insight on you, your brand, and how you're helping our community seek their best self?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on today. It's such an honor. I'm excited to talk about female hormonal health, and I know this topic can resonate with a lot of people. And so I'm excited to share everything that I've learned. And I'm super passionate about helping women with health and wellness. I've actually partnered with a plant-based hair, skin, and wellness company, and it's been so special to see people with their wellness, like help with their wellness journey. And from that, I also teach people how to make money from their phone with this company. And it's been so fun. I love the community. Definitely something I'm super passionate about since I love health and wellness. And it's incredible to see people's lives transform from it.
That's great. That's great. I was on your page, so I did see that the brand that you were speaking about. So that's great that you've kind of given back to the community in that sense and helping people start their own personal journeys. So hormones. I feel like this is a topic that we don't talk about enough. Like I know Janelle, like a previous episode, you had talked about, is it PCOS?
PCOS.
PCOS. So Janelle has shared her personal journey with it. I know we've had some conversations offline, ladies, but can we talk about like what are hormones and like what function do they serve in the body? I think that's like the great base to start with.
Yeah. So your hormones, honestly, this is something that I love to talk about. So not a lot of people know that your thyroid really affects your overall hormones in your body. So something that I've struggled with. So when I was 17, to give you a little backstory, when I was 17, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And so basically my hormones were just really, really out of whack. I had a bad imbalance, and that led to PCOS as well. So that causes cysts on your ovaries. For those of you that don't know, it's cysts on your ovaries. It's kind of similar to endometriosis, but not as intense. But it's something that a lot of women struggle with, and our hormones and our reproductive system, it's crazy. It's honestly something that I love talking about, because I think that there's a lot of well-meaning doctors out there that don't really know, they're not educated enough about reproductive health. And I've just come to learn that because they tried to prescribe me medication that was supposed to balance my hormones, but obviously it had synthetics in it. So it ended up doing more harm than good. And I think a lot of us out there struggle with that. I think, we get on birth control or a hormone replacement, and then it just ends up being worse. It causes other symptoms to happen as well. So yeah,
that is definitely true with that, especially with the birth control. I know this just for personal experience. Being on it for so long, it actually suppresses your body's natural response. So basically, they actually prescribed me birth control to deal with my PCOS as well, because for a while I wasn't having normal periods, and when they did happen, they would last 2 to 3 months at a time. So that's why I was even prescribed birth control. But then they really don't tell you the harm that it does on your body. So like now, present day, I don't even take birth control. Everything has been working itself out normally. So it's just, I get that everybody's, body is different, but they don't talk about the harm that it does to your body. And it took me over 9 months for my body to adjust without being on birth control.
Wow. That's crazy. I hear a lot of stories like that.
It is crazy. Yeah, I just listening to you guys both talk about this, and I haven't been like diagnosed with anything with my hormones, but I know I probably suffer from some type of hormonal imbalance, only because my last gynecologist appointment, they actually told me I did have like 2 small fibroids. So I know that's another thing as well. But why do we feel like, so 3 ladies in this room are talking about this and talking about their own personal experiences. Why do we feel like there's not more discussion about this out here? Like this isn't a regular conversation people are having. So ladies, like, why do we feel like that is?
I personally think like not enough people are educated about it. I think there hasn't been enough research really done to fully understand our reproductive system. And, people probably have just relied on, modern medicine to fix whatever's going on. But sometimes modern medicine can end up having a worse effect than what they thought. They were doing it intentionally for a good reason, and then it ends up being worse than what they thought,
Right.
So I think it's not really talked about, like I said, not a lot of people are educated on it. I have seen it talked about more and more these past couple of years. And honestly, it's how to heal it naturally, which is something that I definitely want to touch on today. But I'm excited to see that it's kind of been like a movement like this past year or so. I've seen women sharing their stories, and even just women coming off of birth control and how hard that journey was. And now they're healing naturally with, these methods. So anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like one thing is that some people just feel ashamed. You get what I'm saying? A lot of women feel ashamed with having issues, dealing with hormones. They even feel ashamed not being able to get pregnant. It's just so many things that people deal with, which is why they hold all of this in and isn't really transparent with other people. So that's a huge one. It's just feeling embarrassed or feeling like they're not a woman because they haven't experienced things other women have.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. I actually kind of had that revelation a few years ago, and I felt like God spoke to me and said, you need to share your journey with, other women, because they're afraid. Like most women are afraid to speak out about it because, they could be embarrassed by it. And so that's a really good point.
Yeah, definitely agree with both of you guys about why people aren't talking about it. Lauren, I'm glad you brought up journeys. I wanted to dive a little bit more into our personal stories and personal journeys about it. Janelle, I know we talked a little bit offline about your specific personal journey. Would you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Sure. I was diagnosed with PCOS my senior year at the University of Kentucky, and basically, I was just having this issue where I wasn't having normal periods. I had a lot of weight gain during this time period. I had a little bit of acne, but not as much as a lot of other women. What else? I had excessive hair growth in areas you do not want hair. To be honest. And so basically, I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, I'm having all these issues. And so she was like, hey, I think it's a time where we get you on birth control. And she did confirm it. She said, you do have all the signs for PCOS. And she was just stating how your body becomes insulin resistant during this process too, because of your hormones being in total shambles, which is just, in simple words, just being complete unbalance. And so basically, it's just been an up and down situation. As I just stated, I was on birth control for years, and I mean years, because a previous doctor, that's what she prescribed me to deal with the irregular periods. But then at that time, they really didn't have a name. So what I was actually dealing with. So I say my freshman year of high school, I've been on birth control ever since. So I stopped taking birth control about 2 years ago. And at first I really didn't have anything happening. Like my body was just like, girl, I don't know what a period is. Like when I say I didn't see a period, I didn't see a period. And then finally it did come, and it lasted almost 4 months, you all. That was like the worst of the worst. Can you just imagine that? Yes. And I'm just like, you guys, I'm on the brink of needing a blood transfusion. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
It was just crazy. So I was in and out of the hospital during that time, and I was experiencing so much pain during this period, to the point where they were giving me ultrasounds. They checked my uterus to see if uterus in my ovaries. They checked to see if I had any cysts on them, fibroids. And nothing was there. So I was just going through everything, like literally everything all at one time. And of course, you really can't tell everybody your business. You get what I'm saying? Because they're looking at you like, what is going on? Why is she in the bathroom longer than, normal? Why is she calling off from work? It was just so many things going on at one time.
Right.
So, now, like I said, my menstrual cycles are back normal since I've been off birth control. I've been regulating pretty much everything. I know my doctor had prescribed metformin to help kind of go along with the PCOS in reference to insulin resistance. But to be honest, I did my research on metformin, so I really haven't been taking that at all. Simply because it's statements that it can cause cancer and different things. So my thing is, it's a lot of prescriptions going out there, but people are not telling you the consequences of you taking those prescriptions. So I'm one of those who are very key on doing your research and not just popping pills. I don't believe in just popping pills. Anybody who knows me knows I do not like taking medicine if I do not have to. So stop injecting your body with all these crazy, ridiculous pills and prescriptions. And just try to find a natural way to heal everything. Get more active. I've been doing this 75-day hard day challenge too. I've already lost some weight. I was just telling MB, I've only been in day 6. This is day 6, and I've already lost 3 pounds. So
wow. That's
yeah,
awesome.
so I'm just like staying focused. I got to stay focused. That's the thing. Because MB knows, like, if she was here, we'll be so tempted to go out and be like, girl, let's go get some pasta. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So staying focused, y'all. So I'm doing my best.
Yeah. Definitely. Lauren, I did want to hear a little bit more about your personal journey. I do want to get into like those natural like remedies and ways that we can kind of heal this, but I do want to hear a little bit more about your personal journey.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, when I was 17, I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And ever since, honestly, I was a freshman in high school, I had really bad periods. Like my cramps were so bad, I would pass out. I would throw up. I mean, it was just awful. I'd have to leave school all the time. So I knew it wasn't normal, but I was just like, maybe everybody else kind of struggles with some cramping and they just take like ibuprofen or Midol or whatever. I mean, I had tried everything and nothing ever worked. So I knew something was wrong. So I waited a couple of years, and then, when I was 17, I was like, it's so bad, I got to do something about it. So I went to the doctor, and he was more of I don't want to say naturopath because he still used like modern medicine as well, but he liked to take the more natural approach. So whenever he diagnosed me with hypothyroidism, he put me on some thyroid medication, and I wasn't too happy about it, but I didn't really know at the time like what to do exactly. So he put me on that medication, which that's an extremely early age to start that medication, to be honest. Most women don't start thyroid medications until they're, in their 40s or 50s, honestly. So it was kind of concerning, but I didn't really know.
Right.
And so, anyway, I was prescribed that. I thought that would help with my periods, and I told him how bad my periods were, but he was a male doctor. Like, it's a male doctor. So I just feel like he didn't really understand the extent, like what I was talking about. So I switched to a female doctor, and she started having me take these natural hormone replacements. So we did like a test to see where my hormones were at. She noticed I wasn't producing enough progesterone. So you produce estrogen and progesterone. So she had me start taking a natural form of progesterone. And honestly, it really, really helped. The cramping started going away. I had normal periods. It wasn't like anything bad. And then a year later, my periods completely stopped. So I was concerned. I was like, this isn't good. And, I heard that happens with birth control as well. I've never taken birth control, but I heard your period just like stops usually.
Yeah, that's what happened when I was taking birth control.
Yeah. So I figured it was kind of like that. So I called my doctor and I just said, I don't think I should be taking this anymore. And she said, nope, you need to stop it like right now. I said, okay. So I quit taking that, and I was still taking my thyroid medication and everything, but the cramps came back worse than ever. Like, it was so bad, you guys. And I just knew I had to do something different. I couldn't continue taking that hormone replacement anymore. I knew I needed to do something different. And that's when I came across Medical Medium. And that's when I shared that with y'all when we were on Clubhouse. So Medical Medium is incredible and totally has healed me from like everything, which is amazing. And one of the big things that healed me was celery juice, which we can like get into that. But that's like that's like really what I want to talk about today, because it's really the thing that's healed me. So
yeah. You guys, for those who are listening or watching, when me and Lauren first jumped in to this room, we had talked about she had mentioned celery juice, and that being something that's good for the morning and healing her. So I actually went to the store this week and I picked up a whole bunch of celery juice, and I drank it this morning. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I felt good after I drank it, but it does taste a little earthy. So I don't want to give you guys like, oh yeah, it's great. Like, no, it tastes earthy. And also, I didn't tell you this, but I feel like you have to juice a lot of celery to get a little juice.
Yes.
I know the benefits are so good, and I definitely want to give you the room to talk about some of the benefits, some of those natural like methods and things that you use. So let's go ahead and jump into the natural remedies you've used.
Yeah. So celery juice. It's amazing, you guys. Give it a try, okay? It's so good. And like I said before, I came across Medical Medium and I saw this like celery juice movement that was going on. And I knew about Medical Medium before, actually, when I was like probably 17, around the time I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. And I just didn't really like give it much thought because I was like, oh, natural stuff, it's probably not really going to work. I don't know. But when it got so bad, that's when I was like, I got to try this out, you know?
Mhm.
And I didn't actually know that he had suggested things to help balance hormones and help with PCOS until I really started to dive in deep into it. And so let's talk about celery juice. So in order to receive all the benefits from celery juice, you have to use it correctly. And you always want to juice it fresh in the morning, and 16 to 32 ounces is the ideal amount for its healing benefits. And that's about 1 to 2 stalks, which you probably discovered that.
Yeah.
So like big bunches of celery, right? And I drink celery juice about 15 minutes after I drink my lemon water in the morning. So first thing I do my lemon water, and then I do my celery juice. And it's been amazing. It's honestly like, I can tell when I first started drinking it, I definitely went through a detox phase. And that's something that a lot of people will probably go through. You know, you'll notice maybe a change in your digestion a little bit, a change in your bowel movement a little bit. So that's something to not be like afraid of, though. Everybody kind of goes through a detox in the beginning. And like you said, you don't like the taste of it. So something that you can do is start juicing an apple with it, to kind of get some sweetness in there to help get used to that taste. And then eventually eliminate the apple so you can get the full healing benefits from celery juice.
Nice. I'm definitely I bought a whole bag of apples. So I'm definitely gonna have to try that. But I think I do want to stick. Like how long do you think usually it takes to see some sort of benefits?
It's really, honestly, it's different for everybody. My body was just in a really bad state. So I think it took me a long time to really see results, if that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
I detoxed. He has a book on celery juice as well, so I'd recommend looking that up. But I detoxed for honestly a few good months before I started seeing like real results. Like I really didn't have many cramps anymore. And I struggled with another part of my story. I struggled with recurring strep and digestive issues. And so that's why it took my body so long to like detox from everything.
Right.
But yeah, it took me probably a couple months.
Okay, well, I'm going to try it out, just the celery juice, for about 30 days. And then if I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of benefit, maybe I'll throw the apple in, maybe I won't. We'll see how it does for 30 days.
Yes, totally. Let me know how that goes. I would love to know.
I definitely will. But are there other things that you did on this journey? I know we talked a little bit about, you have went vegan for a little bit, and that's something that you're looking to continue with. For anyone that's out there listening, I struggle with this vegan diet. I go back and forth, but I am doing raw vegan for the whole month of February and a little bit after for 30 days total. So is that something that also helped, or is there some other remedies that you used?
Yeah. So I think going vegan really, really helped me, especially since I was struggling with some digestive issues. I could not digest meat very well. I discovered that. So when I eliminated that from my diet, it really helped me. I felt like I had more energy, which is funny. But I was just eating a lot more fruits and vegetables, like a raw vegan diet. And I did that for like a strict year. I really like dug deep, and like I made sure I meal planned, and I did all of that for like a year straight. And then I started noticing that I was craving meat again, and I hadn't craved it really that whole time. And I was scared to eat it because it made my stomach hurt before, but I was like, I've been doing the celery juice thing and eating clean for so long, I'm just going to try it. And I did, and it was great. I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So I don't incorporate meat into my diet every day. I try to just listen to my body and see, am I craving meat? If so, let's incorporate it today. So yeah.
That's so important. I'm happy that you said that, like listening to your body, because everyone's different. Like one thing that will work for you may not work for me, and one thing that'll work for me may not work for you. So just listening and understanding like what does work, what doesn't work, how your body digests things, like you said, is so important. I want to shift our conversation a little bit. Anytime that we have a guest, we do play a game. It is called This or That. So we're excited to play with you. So we'll explain the rules. So we give you about 10 or so statements. Usually it's like, we'll give you something that's like this or that, like what you actually would choose. All you have to do is pick a statement and then defend your answer quickly. So you have 90 seconds to get through 10.
Okay.
So if you're able to, let me go ahead and get the timer. Janelle, do you want to go ahead and go with the first one? Let me get the timer first.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Let me know when you got the timer set.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Natural remedies or prescribed medication?
Natural remedies. And I have to explain why, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Natural remedies, because that's what's helped me the most. I tried, prescribed medication before, didn't work for me, switched to natural, totally worked.
Great. Juicing or smoothies?
Oh, I love both. I think smoothies more than juicing. Obviously, I juice celery, but I love smoothies. I'm a smoothie fan.
All right. Eating breakfast or fasting?
Eating breakfast. Definitely important for me because I feel like I have a little bit of blood sugar issues in the morning if I don't eat breakfast. So I have to incorporate that.
We'll talk about that later. It's a reason why.
Yeah.
Are you a morning person or a night person?
I would say night person, but I have become a morning person this last year. I have been waking up like before the sun and I love it. Love mornings now.
Oh, yeah. 25 seconds.
Tea or coffee?
Tea. Definitely a tea person. I think coffee is not the best for you. So I'm a tea person.
All right. This one's a little long. Supplements or spending time finding a way to get all nutrients from food?
Oh, I do both. So supplements or nutrients. I think the nutrients from food is really, really important.
We have 0 time left. Okay.
Yes.
You were able to get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So you've done good. 6. You got 6 out of 10. We are going to go ahead and just ask you the other ones just because we want to get you to know you a little bit more and we want our audience to get to know you. But you're the champion so far, 6 out of 10. So.
Yay!
Okay. The next one is drinking warm or cold water.
Ooh. I would say room temperature water, actually. This is actually better for your system. When you drink like cold water, it kind of shocks your system a little bit. And it's great to like wake up to that. But I always drink my lemon water with room temperature, always.
Nice. All right. Vegan or plant-based?
Dang. Vegan. I think vegan. Although I know there's a lot of vegans out there that don't like honey because it comes from like bees and stuff, but I would say vegan with honey.
Yeah, I'm same with you. Like I've kind of transitioned to like agave syrup. So that's been good, but I'm like, I still love some honey just every now and then.
Me too. And it helps with my allergies like so much.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Organic or all natural?
I mean, organic for sure, but all natural sometimes can not mean organic. We can get into that a little bit, but organic for sure.
Very true about that. Okay. Essential oils or soy candles?
Essential oils for sure. I'm definitely an essential oil user.
Me too. I love a lavender.
Oh, me too.
I'll rub it like on my wrist and then just like, take a few just inhales and it puts me to sleep. I promise you.
Same.
Mhm.
It's so good. I've used actually oils for hormonal health as well, so we can get into
Mhm.
that too.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's get into some of these. Janelle, I think there was one that you specifically had said that you wanted to get into first.
Yeah, when Lauren was saying that her blood sugar is kind of low in the morning,
Mhm.
simply because typically you eat dinner at around 6 o'clock, right? So
Mhm.
your body goes through all this time, whether you're asleep or not, your body is still burning calories.
Yeah.
And so therefore your blood sugar is actually dropping a little bit during that
Yeah.
whole night time. So when
Yeah.
you do wake up in the morning, it's very important that you actually do eat something to first get your blood sugar back up there, but then to actually have energy to work out and go about your day. So that's the reason why I think you do experience a little bit of, low blood sugar when you wake up.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely some truth to that. Um, and for me, I know I want to talk about this because this is something that I've realized and learned about.
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot of doctors out there that suggest eating eggs and eating bacon in the morning to help with your blood sugar. And that's actually like not a good habit. So I've discovered that eggs can actually feed pathogens and viruses in your body, which can contribute to PCOS. So,
Mm.
like, gradually over time, you're making your condition worse by eating eggs and bacon and things like that in the morning. And it makes your liver very sluggish. So you're getting a lot of like high fats in there, and the eggs are feeding all the pathogens and toxins. And then your liver becomes sluggish, which can lead to weight gain, which can lead to blood sugar issues, all kinds of things. So eggs are something that's just, I don't personally like eating because I've learned that it's not good and they don't make me feel very good. So
Mhm.
I eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of fruit, and I know people say to like stay away from fruit when you have blood sugar issues, but that's not true. It's actually helped me personally so much, and I
Mhm.
know there's natural sugars in fruit, and that kind of scares people, like sugars, blood sugar, but the natural sugars in the fruit are actually supposed to help us with our blood sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I second that. I love a natural fruit over
Yeah.
any sugar. I
Mhm.
just have to be in like moderation because I love pineapples, but let's be honest, pineapples have a great amount of sugar in them.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct.
Mhm. Yes.
For sure.
I definitely wanted to get into the organic or all natural
Yeah.
conversation because I thought it was interesting. I put that as a this or that for a reason because I wanted to see what your take was on it. And I
Yeah.
definitely agree with you. Like a lot of things are labeled all natural, but all natural
Mhm.
A does not mean organic. And
Yeah.
then all natural, some things specifically when it comes to a lot of meat products,
Mm,
they'll label it all natural, but it doesn't really mean anything.
exactly. They can get away with a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And so I think this is definitely very important to talk about. I'm glad you brought it up. So there's a lot of companies out there that put all natural and then they put it in the health food stores and
Mhm.
stuff. So it makes you think, oh, this is going to be good for me. It says all natural. But really, if you do your research on the ingredients that are in the back of on the back, hiding in there, it's not natural. It's not actually good for your body. So definitely do your research whenever you're looking at ingredients because there's some that they can sneak in there that are not natural.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I spend so much time in the grocery store. Like, I won't even have a lot of things to get, but I'm literally just in the grocery store, like, okay, let me read this ingredient list real quick.
Same.
And
Same.
I'm like, all natural. I'm like, what does this natural ingredient mean? Or natural,
Yes.
like I'm always
Yes.
reading something and like comparing
Uh-huh.
two products. But yeah,
Yes.
I definitely agree with like everything you said. Like it's so important to like do your research. And like there's so many just to give like a tip to all the listeners and viewers, you can shop like there's so many grocery stores that have like online shopping, whether you purchase it in advance or you're just looking at labels or things of that nature. I know I
Mhm.
primarily out here, we have like literally all the grocery stores like in Atlanta, but I
Yeah.
primarily shop at Kroger. And you can go on there and like look through all of their items and it will show you up close like the label. So it saves
Mm.
me just a little bit of time when I'm going to the grocery store.
Yeah, that's so nice. I personally, I love shopping at Sprouts. I don't know if y'all
Mhm.
have Sprouts. I
Yep.
love Sprouts, and I only go on the days where there's discounts, which is like Wednesdays and Sundays, I think, because
Mhm.
it can be expensive. But there's also stuff at Walmart actually that I've discovered
Yep.
that is cheaper, and it's at Sprouts too.
Mhm.
So just gotta like shop around, do your research.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, essential oils and soy candles. So I do
Yeah.
want to get into like that essential oil talk. I know there's so many health benefits to using essential oils. I've heard things from like, healing colds to,
Mhm.
sleep, like we talked about with the lavender, to, just health overall. So what are some benefits that you know personally?
Yeah. So I started using essential oils probably 3 to 3-ish years ago, I want to say. And I've done a lot of research on essential oils, and it
Mhm.
became kind of a big thing like maybe 2 years ago. And everybody, started noticing they were coming out with these essential oils at Walmart or at Whole Foods. And I just want to, give this tip to our listeners. When you're looking at the bottles of essential oils, in Whole Foods or places like that, they
Mhm.
don't always say that they're 100%. Some of them do say 100% natural or whatever, but they
Mhm.
can sneak in synthetics in there. I've seen it, and I know that this happens. So you want to
Mhm.
make sure that you're getting your essential oils from a reliable source. You want to do your
Right.
research. You want to know exactly where they're coming from. So yeah, they're important for healing. I mean, I've obviously had hormonal issues. I've used essential oils for hormone support, and
Mhm.
I'm currently using some essential oils for hormone support because I'm weaning off that thyroid medication that I mentioned earlier, which is
Mhm.
awesome. Finally weaning off of it. But I'm using essential oils to support that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Like I'm so happy that you were able to talk to us just about like everything that you're personally doing, because I think a lot of people look for like those natural methods. Like what can
Yeah.
I do? What should I be researching now? And
Yeah.
there's so many like fads and things out there. So it's just good to get like a one-stop like all source, like just to talk to someone like, oh, okay, they went through this similar to what I'm personally experiencing or a friend's experiencing. Maybe I can suggest this or do a little bit more research on that. So yeah, we
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you for that. We do want to wrap up. We did have a couple of questions from guests that we wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So Janelle, do you want to go with the first one?
Yes. So, what does your wellness routine consist of?
My wellness routine. Ooh, meaning supplements and everything? Should I
Mhm.
touch on
Everything,
that?
anything, yes.
Everything.
Mhm.
Anything and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Skincare too? Is that what we're talking about?
Sure. Throw it in
Yes.
there.
It's a
Throw it in there.
regimen.
Yes, it is a regimen. So first thing, I wake up in the morning. I obviously like wash my face, and
Mhm.
I use the company I'm partnered with is Monate. So I use all of their skincare, and I love it. It's amazing. And then I like to take either a multivitamin, and Mary Ruth's Organics is a great brand. If you're
Mhm.
needing vitamins and supplements, they're great. So I like to take a multivitamin. I like to take my thyroid. There's a natural thyroid supplement that I take. It's called Thyromin. It's from Young Living. Um, and there's a brand called Vimergy. I take a B12 every day. And that's
Mhm.
important to, especially if you're vegan or plant-based, it's important that you're getting your B12 in there. So I like to take that from Vimergy. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is really, really important, especially like now with everything going on. You want to build up your immune
Definitely.
system. So vitamin D is important. Um, and I'm trying to think of what else. I'm like, what else do I do? Things like that. Lots of supplements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, because I kind of think sometimes we think about like what should I be taking, what should I not be taking. So
Right.
I definitely agree with everything that you've said. I actually, the Mary brand that you mentioned, I actually have heard that a lot is like a really good brand to use.
Yeah.
So I know I'll definitely be checking everything out and seeing what I need to
Yeah.
take. I need to take a B. So I have a B12 supplement,
Yeah.
but I do want to mention to the viewers or listeners, not all B12. If you're like on a vegan or plant-based diet, be careful with what B12 you take. because not all B12s are vegan. So I know I specifically I forget which one I take, but I go to Whole Foods to get my B12, like my vegan B12 vitamin, and it's specifically labeled, and I look at the back and make sure everything's good. But yeah, not all B12 is vegan if you're subscribing to a vegan diet.
Yeah, that's
Mary Ruth is for all vegans, right?
Yeah, everything. I think everything is vegan. I personally, I love using the brand Vimergy, like what I just said, for my B12. I think I might have tried hers before and I didn't exactly like it. I don't know if it just didn't give me enough energy or what it was, but when I switched to this one, I fell in love with it. And I do want to say another important thing is probiotic. That's something I take every day. I try to take it at nighttime, and Mary Ruth has a good one. So
nice. Okay, so our second question from a viewer is, what does being healthy mean to you?
Oh, what does being healthy mean to me? That's such a good question. I think that being healthy means, listening to your body, choosing to eat foods that make you feel good and are going to have good benefits to them. And, just feeling good overall. So choosing things in your life that help you feel good and give you energy, choosing a healthy lifestyle, working out, releasing those endorphins from working out. That's a really good, just healthy habit to put in there. But yeah.
Thank you. So kind of to wrap up the episode, we did want to, before I give you the opportunity to talk about any projects or anything that you have coming up, we just wanted to say, is there anything left that you wanted to speak on, whether it's anything health related or anything hormonal related? The episode was just overall about health and hormones and women's health specifically. But is there anything that you wanted to kind of wrap up?
Yeah. I would just say I would definitely look up Medical Medium. That's the guy I mentioned earlier. His name is Anthony William, but his name is Medical Medium on Instagram. And that's really helped me with my health journey. And he has lots of tips for everyone out there. And I really do trust him. It's the source that I go to anytime I'm looking up supplements or I have questions about, what food should I eat in the morning or whatever. He has all that information, all the recipes and everything. And I would also say he has some great books and resources out there that you can look up. And he has a lot of free resources as well. So anytime you look him up, he has a whole website full of that stuff. So definitely I recommend him. I love all of his protocols and they make me feel good. So yeah.
Nice. Well, we like free here. So, so like we said, we do want to give you the opportunity to just talk about anything that you are working on or that you have coming up. I know we talked about a few things offline, but anything personal, health or wellness, whatever you want to talk about with you, Lauren, the brand.
Oh, thank you. I will say on my Instagram, I'm currently working on trying to incorporate more things about helping women with hormonal issues. So I'm really glad we talked about this today. So I really want to do that and just talk more about my journey with everything. And so I'm kind of just working on a few projects. I want to kind of revamp my YouTube eventually and talk more about health and wellness as well.
And what's your YouTube page?
It's just my name, Lauren Solis.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I also do music for fun. That's a fun little personal thing, but I love music. I think that God has really placed music on my heart and it really speaks to me. So I think that I'll probably start working on some more projects soon with that. I'm in the middle of learning a new instrument right now to help with that. So
nice.
I want to do some songwriting. But yeah, I just want to say that, and I'm excited to share more and more about my journey and stuff on Instagram.
That's great. And where can everyone find you on Instagram as well?
Yeah, my username is @LaurenXSoliz, and it's SOLIZ, not with an S or a Z or a C. Z is in zebra.
Well, great. Lauren, we appreciate you so much. We'll definitely be following you, and I know our viewers will follow along as well. Thank you so much for just all of the knowledge that you shared, and just sharing and being open about your personal journey. Because like we said in the beginning, a lot of people don't share and a lot of people don't talk about this topic in general, whether it be hormonal health, women health, and some of the things that they subscribe to as well. So thank you so much for being a guest today, and thank you so much for sharing your story and journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And I love sharing, what I've learned and what has worked and what hasn't worked for me. And hopefully it helps somebody out there. And yeah, this was such an honor. Thank you so much again.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Come back anytime, please.
Yes, please. We'll have to have you back. Especially when you start doing more on your Instagram. Like, we'll definitely have to have you back to talk more about like updates and things.
Yeah, I would love to. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, you guys, I think it was a good episode. I hope you all who are listening or watching really enjoyed what we were talking about. I think she dropped so many gems. I say this almost every episode, whoever our guest is. I honestly do think they provide so much feedback and good information. But there was so much that she talked about when it came to natural remedies and her own journey. And even you, Janelle, like your own journey, sharing that in a little bit more detail, which is great.
Yes, it was very informational, this episode. So really great. And I will be actually looking into some of the things that Lauren was talking about, especially Mary Ruth. If you guys wasn't paying attention, it was vegan vitamins and supplements. So I will be taking a great dive into that just because I am on this healthy journey. And we'll be discussing this with you all. Like I said, this is one of our goals. Well, me and Micaiah's goals for this year was just to be more healthy, more active, and everything. So we want you to be a part of this journey with us.
Definitely. And I do just want to say a quick disclaimer, you guys. Like we said in the beginning of the episode, we're not experts, but we are here to do the work and to share our own personal stories and journeys. So that's why we're having these conversations. Like, we want to bring people who have experienced this, not just medical people, because there's people who are in the medical field who, yes, they give great advice. Yes, they've studied and they have the education and they have all the information behind it, but they haven't personally experienced this stuff themselves. Not that we won't have doctors and things of that nature on the show. We definitely will, because we definitely need that medical advice. But for this episode, it's so good to hear from Lauren, who's actually personally experienced this, and see how she's kind of overcome it.
Yes, indeed.
So, you guys, if you made it to the end of this episode, you definitely want to continue to see more episodes. I know you do. So please continue to support us by liking this video or liking the audio that you're listening to, following us, and then subscribing if you're watching on YouTube. Definitely make sure that you do follow the Being Becoming podcast IG page. Like you saw in this episode, we do ask viewers questions. So we'll put our guests and our topic in advance for the week, and you guys can ask any questions that you want. So make sure you're following the Being Becoming podcast IG page. And then you can find me on I'm Just MB.
And you can find me at Beautiful J at BEUYOUTIFULJ. This is your girl, Janelle.
Yes, and don't forget, I do want to mention, don't forget, the discussion does not end here. We have a Clubhouse room every Thursday where we talk about the show's topic. So if you like this topic, like, join us on Clubhouse. We're there on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern every Thursday.
Please come. Please come. It's great conversations. You get what I'm saying? Like, I love people just be popping in. I'll be like, oh,
it is.
Then I have to like go on your page and see who you are, go to your Instagram, add you, all of it.
It is really fun, like just getting people's stories and like their thoughts and processes. So it's been great. Every week it's been great. So yeah, that's it for us. Like we said, make sure you subscribe, like, and follow, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.